Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for our FY25 Stakeholders Input Meeting. My name is Dr. Tamika Walker, and I am the Director of School Improvement for the Paulding County School District. And this morning, we will be sharing with you just our journey through federal programs as we talk about the CLIP and how we allocate funds in the district. So if you would just take a quick moment for me and use the QR code or the link that'll be dropped in the chat to go ahead and sign in so that we have a record of everyone that has participated in today's feedback meeting. So we have we have a learning intention for today's meeting, and it is so that you guys, our stakeholders, are informed about federal funds and how they're allocated in our school district and how we use them to meet the needs of students and schools based on our stakeholder priorities. There are 3 success criteria for today. One of them is that you feel like you can give meaningful feedback based on our priorities that provide equitable support to our students, as well as being able to give feedback that covers a lot of diverse perspectives. And then lastly, that you know how to contact the manager of the federal program if you have additional questions. So those are the things that are going to guide us today as we go through this. Our meeting etiquette is if you have if you have questions, I would ask that you wait until the presenters are done, but you can drop those in the chat. You can also use the QR code or the link in the chat to ask questions, to provide feedback. As we go along, you're going to see this QR code frequently. It's the same code, and it is a way for you to give feedback to us through this process, because that's really the purpose of today's meeting, is to be able to get stakeholder feedback. The meeting is being recorded, and so there will be a record of the information that's covered. Now we're going to hear just very briefly from our superintendent.
I'm Steve Barnett, Superintendent of the Paulding County School District. I wanted to take a moment to thank all of our stakeholders for partnering with us in our mission to empower our teachers and students. Your involvement in activities such as this stakeholder meeting are a reflection of this county's commitment to quality education and outstanding schools. Our school district has always been dedicated to providing the highest quality education, and your support has been instrumental in helping us achieve this goal. We have also been successful in managing the various sources of federal income we receive so that we can hire high-quality, diverse candidates to meet the needs of our students and families. These funds have also allowed us to implement programs that have helped increase our graduation rate. In this meeting, we want to hear your thoughts on how we can best allocate these resources. Together, we have worked hard to ensure that our teachers have the tools they need to help our students thrive, and the results speak for themselves. Our students are smarter, more engaged, and more confident than ever before. None of this would have been possible without your support and commitment to our shared mission. Thank you for believing in us and for working alongside us to make our schools the best they can be. We couldn't do this work without you.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett. We appreciate you so much.
So as we get ready to talk about this process and the federal fundings, the first part is the CLIP, which is our consolidated LEA improvement plan, and also just the allocations that we receive to support that plan. So our CLIP actually starts with a comprehensive needs assessment where stakeholders give us feedback. And from that needs assessment, we identify the needs and then determine SMART goals that we want to reach during the school year. Then we decide on interventions and action steps. And along the way, we implement the plan and monitor the plan to see if what we've decided is actually yielding the results that we would like. And that process happens, like I said, throughout the school year. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Davies.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Cynthia Davies. I'm the Executive Director of School Improvement and Federal Grants. Each year we are given federal funds and they fall into different buckets, each with their own kind of set of rules. The allocations change each year based on our enrollment, how much money the state of Georgia is given, and how they disseminate it down to the school districts. But here are some of our large buckets that we receive each year in federal funds, and these are this year's allocations. On this page, we have two more. L4GA is an early literacy grant that we've received the last couple of years. That grant will come to an end. The other federal buckets are buckets that we receive each and every year. Out of our Title I funds, there are some have-tos to make sure that we support some very special and unique children groups. And so here you can see for neglected and delinquent children, private schools, making sure that we engage families and parents, our homeless children. Then there are some administrative and indirect costs, and we also must put money aside. Here are our goals that are in our district plan that came out of that CLIP process that Dr. Walker explained to you. We have 3. By May of 2025, we will enhance the quality and effectiveness of professional learning initiatives to empower teachers and positively transforming their instructional practices, thereby directly impacting student achievement. Goal 2, by May 2025, we will cultivate meaningful collaborative opportunities that foster strong relationships and active engagement between district staff, families, and communities, resulting in a positive impact on student achievement. Today's meeting is one of those activities that we are using to try and meet that goal. Goal 3, we will increase student performance in all core content areas by 3% annually as measured by our achievement data. Because again, at the end of the day, student success and growth is our main initiative. I'm going to give the district improvement planning now. We're going to move into our really where we want to share each one of those programs a little more in detail and get your feedback. So I believe that Dr. White is up next.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Heather White. I am in over special education. I'm going to talk to you a little bit to the next slide about our purpose is the excess cost for special needs children. So when we look at this and the services we have, our initiatives are additional teachers, additional paraprofessionals for special education, looking at all the pre-K teachers and paraprofessionals for that program. We do speech pathology, contract services, behavior contract services for our students that need it, one-to-one interpreters. We also have one-to-one nurses that we provide services to, transportation, and then we look at other things that our children need. So when you look at this, any feedback you can give us is much appreciated, but these are our purpose and our initiatives for special education. All right, turn it over.
Well, Ms. Pearson is coming up. If you want to take a moment, if you have any questions for Dr. White or any feedback you want to give on that program, if you'll go into the QR code and add that, please, or put it in the chat.
Should move on.
Yes.
All right, my name is Carol Pearson. I'm the Assistant Director of CTAE for the Paulding County School District. The grant that I oversee is the Perkins 5 federal grant. We, as part of Perkins, it has its own monitoring process, and we successfully completed, that process last year. We had a monitoring and risk assessment, and we went through that process and met all the requirements. So we will do that again in another 5 years. So we're good to go. We also, through that process, identify overarching needs for the CTAE programs in the district. We have 4 overarching needs. The first one deals with furnishing and updating programs, CTAE programs, and then also facilitating students' leadership development in our career technical student organizations in the schools and industry credentials of value, which is the end of pathway assessments that students have to take, so funding that. And then also funding some professional learning opportunities for teachers that are going through industry certification in their programs. So just to kind of highlight some of the things that we have done this past year, we upgraded equipment in our automotive, audio, video, technology and film, business and computer science, cosmetology, culinary arts, engineering, graphic design, healthcare, and marketing programs. So all of those programs received upgrades and new equipment. We also had approximately 3,000 students that were involved in career technical student organizations, and they were able to participate in region, state, and national competitive events. The events were as close as the Diane Wright Center. I mean, we did some here locally, and then they also went to places like Los Angeles, California, and Orlando. So they have a wide variety of opportunities when they're participating in those organizations. We also administered 1,658 end of pathway assessments last year. We had our healthcare and marketing programs re-industry certified. So they went through that industry certification process last year. And then this year we're looking at our graphic design programs at East Paulding and Hiram, and our culinary program at North, and our business program at South. So all of those programs will be going through industry certification, and Perkins funding is used in all of those areas that I just mentioned. So we try to be good stewards of that money and stretch it as far as we can, and improve our programs along the way as well. So if you guys have any questions or comments, we'll use the QR code to address those or to document those. Any questions here?
Check. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so Title IV.
Yeah.
I'll leave the QR code up while she's coming on board here.
Thank you.
Leave it up for a second. Yeah, well, no, that's true. She's, yeah, you can switch.
All right, good morning. My name is Sarah Berger. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instructional Support for the district. I get to manage the Title IV Part A funds for our federal programs. The purpose of Title IV is that we go above and beyond all of our school dollars to provide a well-rounded, safe and healthy, and effective instructional technology for our students in the program. Some things that we do to furnish and make sure that those dollars are fiscally spent well. We provide subs. We provide a lot of subs for our teachers and professional learning. So we provide professional learning in the area of STEM, as well as with the new standards that have rolled out last year with math. We provided a great deal of just sub PL for our teachers aligned to the new math standards. We continued that this year because, again, we want to make sure that they have a deep knowledge base. And then we will continue to do that as the ELA standards change and roll out in the prior years. Some additional things that we pay for resources for our intervention program called Do the Math, which is DTM, to ensure that our students have the textbooks, resources needed to go along with that program, that intervention program. We also fund in the safe and healthy bucket, we fund two programs called PBAS Rewards and MINGA. PBAS Rewards is for our elementary students. And basically, again, it's so that we reward our students for coming to school and doing the right thing. The schools do celebrations, but the PBAS Rewards is the app that totals all of their points that the teachers assign to the students so they can have the reward parties. Minga is a company that does that keeps up with tardies and checkouts and just absences, and it keeps our students safe and healthy in our high schools and our middle schools. And so that's been a new initiative, but been very successfully launched this year in all 34 schools. Last but not least, we do provide funds to our SEL, our teacher on assignment, so that he can attend conferences and learn all the great, the new and true just best practices to keep social and emotional health for our teachers and our students as well in the district. And then we also fund endorsements, just to make sure that our teachers are able to keep up with all of our new colleges that are churning out our new teachers. They're coming with additional endorsements on their certificates. So any of our veteran teachers in the district that don't have things like STEM endorsements, gifted endorsements, ESOL endorsements, we fund that and we make sure that they can receive that endorsement on their certificate free at cost. So Title IV pays for that as well. So just to make sure that we have a robust sense of knowledge with our teachers, that then trickles down to the student level. Are there any questions or any feedback? You can put that in the chat or and use the QR code to put it in the chat, or if anyone has questions for me. Yes, sir.
So overall, the other big app is just for safety for students within a school system.
So it's dual purpose. So it also has a PBIS rewards component of it as well, but because it's a new app, we're just learning the different components. And so our high schools and middle schools chose to really do, yes, the absences and the tardies and the checkouts. But then also is a component of the hall pass where teachers can assign bathroom passes or hallway passes, maybe to go to the library, the media center, the cafeteria. But yes, it's to make sure that our schools are flowing and functioning in a safe and healthy manner. Yes, sir. Great question. Anything else?
I'm up next. Again, I am Dr. Tamika Walker, and I manage the Title III funds. And Title III are additional supplemental funds we get for our English language learners. And so those funds are used for Rosetta Stone and some other software programs, Lexia, that our students have the opportunity to get during their instruction, as well as Elevation as a platform that has instructional strategies as well. Additionally, we pay for professional learning for our gen ed teachers. We have an ESL lead teacher that provides that training to the general education teachers. And we also, which this is, I believe, maybe the second and third year we've done this, have OLA classes for the parents of our students who are English language learners, where they can actually come and learn English, and it happens weekly, and there's a celebration associated with that at the end of the year. So that is something that has been super successful as we support not only the students that are English learners, but also their families as well. So that was quick, but that really is where most of our buckets of money go. Any questions about that? Anything in the chat? All right, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Davies. It's the same QR code that you're using. There's just different sections. So if you want to drop some questions about Title III in there or comments, again, if you don't put it in the chat, we will be looking at the form later. Dr. Davies.
So I oversee the Title II Part A funds. These funds really are in place to make sure that all of our students have the best quality teachers sitting in front of them. And whether it's a high-end school or a little lower-end school economically, that there is equity across the board in the county to make sure that all children have highly qualified teachers in front of them. So we use our money then to provide, we have a professional learning coordinator. She does a lot of work with our new teachers. We have mentors that we support. We have classes for our new teachers. We do a new teacher orientation in the summer before they're on contract, and we're able to pay them stipends to come in with our funds. We pay for professional learning for our teachers kind of across the board to make sure they have time to work in their PLCs and look at their student data and make sure they're making really good instructional decisions for our students. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Some resources, we purchase like supplies and books. The other really big initiative that we support out of the Title IIA funds is recruitment of teachers. Our HR department is then able to go to recruitment fairs, reach out to colleges and other entities when we're hiring those people of high quality and diversity to be in front of our students. Are there any questions about Title IIA? Thank you. And then we will move on to Title I.
Thank you. Well, good morning, and I'm Dr. Carney Daniel. I'm the director of Title I program. And we have Part A and we have a Part A policy, which is our family engagement policy. Our funds are has kind of a large pot of money that we use to support all of our students in our schools that fall in the economically disadvantaged pocket, so to speak, that we want to provide them equitable access and make sure that we are above and beyond what the school district is already providing them. And so we look at different things. Of course, we're focused on the academic piece, but we want to make sure that we are trying to make sure that they are able to meet the challenges in the classroom. And we're also there to support their families. A few of our funding pockets or buckets that we really invest in are our coaches. We have a coach and instructional coach in all of our Title I schools. We have 9 currently this year. And this is our second year of serving junior highs. We serve 3 schools in the district. And in the history of Paulding, we've only served elementary schools. So we're excited now to serve elementary and junior high. We do the coaches, like I said, in all of the schools. We also have coaches at the district office that support those schools and provide PL for them. They provide lots of support with them with parent engagement, just trying to help them create good strategies for our students in the schools. We also spend quite a bit of our funds on extra teachers, extra staff in the buildings, teachers and paraprofessionals to support those classrooms and those students. We also have lots of family engagement opportunities where we have parents come out in the evening to look at data. We talk about goal setting. We talk about how they can build conversation with their students and have them get off their cell phones and engage, all those kinds of things. We do that all throughout the year. Every school has family engagement opportunities. We also will support our homeless education transportation. Well, for any of our students who are identified as homeless during the school year, we provide transportation to keep our district and their current school the most normal situation for them. And so we allow that to happen. We just had our ESOL EL community fair. It was a huge success with this past weekend. It typically falls in October. It may fall in March for next year, but we were excited about it. We had lots of resources there for families. Lots of parents and children were there. We have support from Kennesaw State, from our district level. Kennesaw State is there. The Hope Grant, the Hope folks were there from Hiram High School. We just have a lot of great support there and involving a lot of people from the community that come out as well. In addition, we support, like I said, the family engagement projects, and one of them is the Harvard Family Project, and we do that at all 6 of our K-5 schools. And that's when parents, when they come out, they identify where their students fall in the array of data sources that we have, so that they know how to help their students improve and get to mastery by the end of the school year. So we have a dinner there with them, and we're able to sit and the students kind of share with them what their strengths are, what their areas of improvement are, and then we support them. ATSI school support, we have 3 schools that have been identified ATSI this year, and that's just the schools that were ranked based on their data from last year, that they didn't quite meet the mark. And so we are supporting them by providing them with professional learning, some extra supports during the school year, some coaching support and strategies. Migrant education, we do have students that do qualify for migrant support, and so we provide things for them like resources for their families and for them as they are supported by the migrant program. It is a direct connect with the state. They come out and do family visits. They check on the students and their grades periodically and make sure that we're providing them with all the support that we can. Over to the next slide, and I know my section is long, but we have a lot to do with our babies. Student and teacher resources, we provide things like, iPads, we provide professional learning, like I said earlier, but also hands-on things like whiteboards, tables that students can write on to work out problems, all the things that we think that will make the students more engaged and be able to reach and access the instruction. Like I mentioned about sub-costs and professional learning, we also have some fabulous parent resource rooms all throughout our 9 schools, and they cater to our parents, but also we cater to our students who may be in junior high and need to do projects. We try to provide them in the resource area, like the trifold boards and foam boards, and able to print things in color if they have to do a brochure for class. We are trying to remove barriers so that all of our students have access to the exact same things that they need in order to access with their curriculum. We also do support a neglected and delinquent facility that's not too far from here, where we support students who have fallen victim to sex trafficking of any kind, and we provide civil support to them. And we work through things virtually, as well as their director there, providing them supports to take care of with their overall well-being, but we support them as a trauma-informed schools. We give them access to conferences and things like that to support their staff. We also have a private school that we're supporting. We supported one last year, and now we're supporting another this year. It's Grace Christian Academy. And so the students that would attend any of our 9 Title I schools in our district, that our funding travels with the student. And so those students at Grace that would be ours in Title I, we support them by bringing them the resources and the funds that travel with them. So they might be used for technology, for tutoring, for after school support, Saturday school, anything like that, that those students need that attend Grace Christian Academy. And then lastly, we are taking part in trying to get our teachers in our schools to really focus on teacher clarity, making sure that they know what the standard is, how they're going to teach the standard, and then making sure that they communicate to the students what the success criteria is for them to know how they met that mark with regards to the standard. So we're focusing a lot on that, and a lot of our coaches are attending trainings on teacher clarity and success criteria. And Diane Sweeney is a new approach to coaching that we are looking at it from a student lens for the first time, and not just the adult lens. And so we are adding in that component with all of our schools, just trying to roll out the next phase of coaching, going from the teacher doing all the instruction and all of those pieces to the students really being the focus of the coaching. So using their data to say, how do I need to proceed in my instruction on a day-to-day basis? It's a lot for Title I, but that's pretty much the big buckets that we invest in for our students. Do you have any questions or anything about what was mentioned? Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. Any questions about Title I? I know it's lots of pockets. Everything good in the chat, Mr. Allen?
Can you please share the feedback form in a different format? It requires a Microsoft sign-in, so we can provide the form on our website. Is that
Can, as well as, if that person is okay with sharing their contact information, I can send it to them directly as well.
So we can send you something more directly to that person, or they can easily put their comment or feedback in the chat.
Absolutely,
That's another option as well.
because we are recording the meeting.
Excellent. And we are going to post the recording on the website.
Right.
Okay, so my second piece is parent engagement policy. We do have to submit this to the state every year, and it pretty much talks about what our agreement is going to be to title to support our parents. It's pretty black and white. We use all of our data from the previous year, from all of our surveys, parent surveys, staff surveys, and student surveys, and things like this meeting. And we use all the feedback and we compile it to figure out how we want to readdress our parent engagement policy and plan. And it just talks about how we're going to support our students and support our families all throughout the school year. It is binding in the sense that we want our parents to know that we hear them and that we're addressing their concerns or their suggestions. And so anything that we can do to do that is part of this policy. It is jointly will develop, like I mentioned. It does have a certain format. Right now, all of our schools are holding their annual Title I meetings. Every school has to have their own annual Title I meeting, and that meeting is held at the school. It's typically hybrid, and they get lots of feedback, and that goes into creating this policy as well. We also do school and parent compacts. That's that agreement between the school and the parent that it's the team effort, right? We're not doing all the work on our own here, and we don't want parents to feel like they're doing it all on their own at home. We also talk about building capacity of parents, and like I mentioned earlier, the Harvard Family Dinner Project, our ESOL Fair, and then our APTT teams, and that's a program through the state that is geared toward our 6th through 8th population, and it's just a different approach to looking at data, and the students really guide those conversations with the parents, and we do that with those 3 schools. And then building capacity of staff. We want our staff to know what we're doing and how we're supporting families and how they're supporting families, even going as far as not just conferences during parent conference week, but also putting forth the extra effort to reach out to them and keep parents in the loop on how their students are performing. And last but not least, we try to build a capacity for involvement. So we're always looking for ideas for us to build capacity with the community. Lots of our coaches participate in PL for Georgia RESA and giving them lots of ideas and strategies to build that capacity for involvement, not just going to school every day and teaching, but getting to know the community and the students that we serve and their families. And then our reservation of funds, we have a pocket of money that we have put aside that's specifically geared. It's 1% of our budget, and we allocate that strictly to parent engagement. It doesn't come outside that bucket. So anything that our parents need, with regards to their students and trying to help them be successful in schools, that's what we use those funds for every single year. And the state requires that we use that first. So we make sure that we stay in compliance there. But that is our parent engagement policy, and it's updated every year. And you have a chance now to put some feedback in. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Walker.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel.
Your time.
So as we get ready to talk about the timeline, we're actually here in the beginning of the process today, getting public input. So we really need your input as stakeholders as we kind of go on this journey again. This is the same process we go through annually to update our plan, to talk about the clip. And so we will have our next public meeting on May the 20th, and I'm thinking we will do hybrid again. This seems to be successful where we have online and face-to-face. And then May through June is really where we continue to monitor the plan, like I shared before on that roadmap slide, as well as it's a living document. So if there are things that we feel like we need to improve or change, we can make, those adjustments. And then for the FY26 year, we have to have all of the feedback, our plan, submitted to Godot in June. And then after we have the plan submitted, then we submit the budget in September. So that's kind of just our timeline. These are the people. Remember, that was one of our success criteria, right? Was that you knew who to contact. And so these are the individuals that spoke to you today over those respective federal programs. If you have any additional questions, you can reach out to them. That is phone numbers that you can call directly with extensions. And then lastly, I really want to thank you for your time today. Just coming out, and whether you're here with us in person or whether you're here with us virtually to give us your feedback. And you can, again, that is that form. Can you tell we wanted feedback? I think it was almost on the slide. Give us your feedback so that we can, really have your input in how we proceed as a district. Any questions in the chat before?
There was a request for emails of the presenters
Okay,
today, so I'm asking for them to contact us by email to share that.
absolutely. We can absolutely do that. That's not a problem. Anything else? Well, our meeting is over, and thank you again for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And everyone just be safe out there as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.